Sidebar with Jesse Weber, Law and Crime. They talking about how a McDonald's worker was posted for killing somebody. It says McDonald's worker posted furious rant before killing her manager. And then it says police after. I don't know what that police is about, but I'm curious to see what's going on here. You know why? Cause I love McDonald's, bro. I love McDonald's. Like the McDonald's in my neighborhood, they know my name. Well, they don't know my real name, but they know the name that's on my account. And when they see me, they say my name, and they know what my order is without me even having to show them any type of number. So anyway, let's get into it, man. I need to see what they're doing at this McDonald's, because we can't have McDonald's workers getting killed because they are too valuable to me.
Somebody will have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair.
And I'm gonna eat this chicken while we watching this.
It isn't funny at all. So, she could keep bending.
First of all, red flag, she got orange hair. I don't trust the colorful hairs, yo. I'm not gonna lie. I do not trust the colorful hairs. I don't know if she like was trying to get a job at McDonald's being Ronald McDonald. If she was trying to be Regina McDonald. I don't know. I don't know the backstory of her, but orange hair is kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie.
If she wants to, but that is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. It ain't.
Just 48 hours before allegedly stabbing her manager to death inside of a Detroit McDonald's, Afeni Muhammad posted that very...
Detroit? Yo. This happened in Detroit? No way. I used to live out there. Damn. I used to be right there on 8 Mile and Woodward. Right there by Ferndale. If you know, you know. Damn, Detroit. Y'all stabbing people at McDonald's?
Very angry Instagram rant. And now that video is at the center of a murder case that prosecutors say was premeditated and hauntingly foreshadowed. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Okay, just 2 days.
Yo, first of all, just quit, bro. Why you stabbing your manager, bro? If you don't like it, just quit, bro. Like, just quit. Or find a way to get your manager to quit. You don't want to stab nobody, bro.
Before she allegedly stabbed her manager to death, Afeni Muhammad posted this furious Instagram video seething about being sent home early for the second day in a row.
I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person.
By the same person? I mean, what are you doing to get sent home early? That's the question. I hope you let us know in this video. Take some accountability. What are you doing that's causing you specifically out of everybody else? What is on your face? Is that a butterfly? Is that a filter, or is that one of those pimple stickers? Cause that's a big ass sticker. Well, please tell me why you got sent home.
I'm telling you, she's a bully. This isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in this store, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. Gonna have to stop. She's a bully. I'm telling you. She's a bully.
And that was followed by what could be perceived as a foreboding warning.
She could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. It ain't.
Now, by Thursday, July 10th, 2025, those words became a horrifying reality because the
It ain't.
Now, by Thursday, July 10th, 2025.
July 10th? This is a week ago, bro. This was like last week, Wednesday or Thursday or something like that.
Those words became a horrifying reality because the 26-year-old is now accused of ambushing her manager, 39-year-old Jennifer Harris.
That's the manager. Another person with color. Another person with colorful hair. I don't know, man. Y'all colorful hair people. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen y'all in public. I've seen y'all IRL doing the most. I've seen y'all IRL doing the most, but y'all gotta chill out. I don't know if it's too much perm. Maybe it's seeping in your pores. It's messing with the chemistry that's attached to your brain. But I'm not gonna lie, some of y'all be doing the most, bro. Y'all gotta chill out with all them colors. I don't know, maybe hers is a wig, I don't know. But y'all gotta be careful, man. I think I be messing with the brain, bro.
9 Mile Road McDonald's in Detroit, stabbing her up to 15 times with a kitchen knife in a brutal attack that prosecutors are saying is a premeditated murder. We're going to start from the top.
Damn.
We're going to take you through how all of this apparent violence unfolded. This was just before 8 a.m. on July 10th. Jennifer Harris, this longtime manager, this was just before 8 a.m. on July
8 a.m.? Y'all over here stabbing people up like breakfast time? Isn't breakfast time like the happiest time of the day, bro? How y'all angry at breakfast time?
July 10th, Jennifer Harris, this longtime manager at the East Point McDonald's, sent Afeni Muhammad home early following this heated argument that detectives say was sparked by Muhammad not performing her work duties. Now, Muhammad did go home, but not before reportedly saying to Harris, "I'll be back." And apparently she wasn't lying.
Nah, I'll be back. She hit her with the Terminator line. I'll be back. I'll be back? Yo, if I'm at work and I have an argument with somebody at work, and at the end of the argument, they finish it off with I'll be back, I gotta be like, God! I need somebody to be back. I'm waiting for her to be back. I need somebody else to be here before she gets back. 'Cause I'll be back sounds crazy. Like, I'll be back, that sounds like you going to go pop the trunk. You about to go in the trunk and grab something crazy. Like, I'll be back, it just has you thinking like,
hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Like, something gotta be going off in your head. Like, I'll be back just means they coming back with a problem.
Because after being dismissed, police say they allege that Muhammad drove to a nearby park, but instead of cooling off, she made a fateful decision. Allegedly retrieving a kitchen knife from her car, Muhammad returned to the quick service chain, but this time prosecutors say she wore a hooded mask over her face to conceal her identity, slipped through the back employee entrance, and what happened next, according to prosecutors, was nothing short of savage.
She covered her face. Like, you didn't think they'll put two and two together? They just sent your ass home like 20 minutes ago. Like, you didn't put that together that they wouldn't know it's you? Like, they just sent you home 20 minutes ago. You thought you was gonna get away with that? My God, bro.
Muhammad allegedly ambushed Harris, stabbing her repeatedly in a frenzied attack. Co-workers scrambled to help Harris, but the damage was too severe. She was rushed to a hospital, and sadly, she later succumbed to her injuries. Such a sad case, such a disturbing case, and this is one that we definitely wanted to shed light on and bring to you. And I will tell you, one of the reasons that we can do this is because of the amazing support that we get from our sponsors like Upside. Now, if you don't know what it is, Upside is great. It is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy daily essentials. So,
why are you sending people home though? Like, sending people home is like crazy. Like, that's a waste of time, bro. You really wasting somebody's time by sending them home. Like, you know what it takes to go to work? Like, one, you gotta be in a mood to go to work. Two, you gotta prepare. Like, people say, oh, you work 8 hours. Nah, you really work like 10 plus, depending on how long it takes you to get to work. Because the average person, it might take them like an hour to get ready in the morning. So let's say it takes like an hour to get up, get ready, and then let's say it takes like a half an hour to get to work. It's like an hour and a half right there. On top of that 8, so that's like 9.5. And let's say another half an hour to get back home. That's like 10 hours, bro. Like, it takes time to go to work, bro. To just be sending somebody back home, that's kind of crazy. Like, what is she doing to be getting sent back home, though?
Pump my gas, I can use Upside. Go out to lunch, I can use Upside. Maybe I get something at a convenience store, I can use Upside. And why not get cash back when I do all these things, right? This is real cash back. It's money that appears in your Upside app that you transfer right into your bank account. So once you have the free Upside app, you claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. You pay as usual using a debit or credit card. You follow the steps on the app, you get paid. So to find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside or scan the QR code on screen. And make sure to use our promo code SIDEBAR because you get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. I want to bring in right now Eric Faddis, criminal defense attorney, friend of the show. Eric, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming back here on Sidebar. Eric, you know, first of all, what is your reaction to this progression of events? I mean, it's not every day that you have an Instagram post that allegedly is foreseeing what is about to happen. Now, we'll talk more about the Instagram post, but this is a savage attack, and the government feels confident they know who did it.
Just a horrific set of circumstances here, and really what the record kind of
The government feels confident they know who did it. Bro.
shows is a buildup, an escalation, things that are getting worse over time. This animosity is growing. And you know, Muhammad didn't do herself any favors with that Instagram video, and then later allegedly went into the store and just slaughtered Harris with a knife in the most brutal fashion.
Do you see work-related killings often? I mean, we talk about all the time about relationships and domestic violence, but do you see a lot of work-related violent attacks, homicides often in your line of work?
You know, Jesse, it's not terribly uncommon. You know, the work environment can be a stressful environment. Sometimes.
Everybody heard of going postal, right? Going postal. That usually means an employee from the post office just crashing out at work. You know what I mean? That's what going postal is like. Everybody knows people go to work, and then the things don't go well. Some people, they crash out, and some people get hurt from it. It's a normal thing. It shouldn't be, but it's well known.
You're working with somebody who's not your best buddy. And, you know, over time, those tensions can build and become very problematic. People's livelihoods are on the line. It is, you know, really a high stress environment that can lead to these kinds of events.
So now let's take a closer look at that pivotal piece of evidence in this case, the Instagram video posted to Afeni Muhammad's account just 2 days before the stabbing on July 8th. And in it, Muhammad appears visibly upset, venting about a workplace conflict.
But to get sent home 2 days in a row, man, and I came in on my off day to make up my time, and she still sends me home early?
She came in on her off day, and you sent her back home? Yo, you coming on your off day? You wake up early on the day that you are off? Your non-scheduled day? The day you were expected to stay home? The day you were not supposed to come to work? You came to work? And then got sent back home? Oh no, bro. That's another level of disrespect, bro. That's another level of disrespect right there. I don't know.
Not funny.
Now, Muhammad continues directly accusing her supervisor, Harris, of creating a toxic environment and retaliating against her.
She brings a lot of negative energy in there. You know, nobody's perfect. It's God, it happens. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, somebody might get confused. So it gets busy, yeah. But she needs to stop playing like she don't be making mistakes. I be catching her.
Now, the video ends with what might be proven to be chilling foreshadowing of what was to come.
Somebody will have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair. It isn't funny at all. So, you know, she could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. It ain't.
Now, Eric, you know, I wonder if the defense is going to say she was angry, she was venting on social media. If she was really planning to kill her manager, why would she post something like this for the world to see? I mean, that doesn't seem too brilliant. Is that a possible defense argument?
If she was planning on killing her manager, why would she post it on social media? That wouldn't be too brilliant. You know, how many videos have we seen on the internet where people talk about either what they're gonna do or what should happen to somebody before it actually happened? We had the two students. There's two students that killed their classmate. They was inspired by the Scream movie. The Scream movie with Ghostface, you know, the slasher flick with the knife. They was recording themselves leading up to it, like days leading up to it. There's so many stories like that, you know. Even Cloverfield, Columbine, them kids, they was recording themselves and talking about it before. This is what they do, bro. It doesn't. You don't gotta be a genius to do this type of dumb shit. You know what I mean?
You know, sometimes criminals don't make the smartest choices.
Exactly.
This is especially with the emergence of social media and everyone kind of having a quasi-public life now who's on social media. These things come out and people don't really think much of it and don't think how it could impair parts of their life going forward. And so, you know, she's on there venting, but clearly there is some hostility against Harris that is coming through. And those haunting words, those are so ominous looking back at now what happened, where she says she can keep being a bully if she wants to, but that's going to catch up with her. That the prosecution is going to say is premeditation. That's exhibit 1.
One thing we haven't talked about yet, and there's actually a lot we have to talk about, but one thing we haven't talked about yet is that amid the horror of what unfolded, there is an unexpected figure in this story who's being hailed a hero. You see, according to police, a customer who was waiting in the McDonald's drive-thru heard this commotion inside, happened to be legally carrying a firearm. Acting quickly, he fired a warning shot, which caused Muhammad, or allegedly Muhammad, to drop the knife, flee the restaurant. The customer then followed her, held her apparently at gunpoint in the parking lot until police arrived, again, potentially preventing further bloodshed. Eric, if this is all true, my gosh, right? I mean, you have to...
Wait, so if he held her at gunpoint and stopped her from leaving, then that means... Why would he say earlier that they think it's her? Wouldn't they have her unless she still escaped somehow? Alright? You got somebody at gunpoint till the police come, that means the police got him.
Wonder what could have escalated.
Oh gosh, you know, you have someone who is capable and willing to just go stab their manager up to 15 times with a kitchen knife. What else is she capable of? You know, she was in a escalated state at that point, heightened emotions. Who knows what else she would have done had she gotten away, allegedly. And so, yes, this gentleman intervening, I think, could have really spared future bloodshed potentially.
So then you go to Friday, July 11th, and Muhammad stood before Judge Kathleen Galen, charged with first-degree murder and carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent. And during her arraignment, East Point detective Brian Showers took the stand to read what's known as a swear-to, which is our understanding this is a sworn statement outlining the facts that he believes establish probable cause for Afeni Muhammad's arrest and justify the warrant that was issued against her. And he began by recounting a critical admission, or alleged admission, that Muhammad made following her arrest.
Prior to the stabbing, Muhammad was sent home by Harris for not performing her work duties and told Harris, "I'll be back." Muhammad was arrested on scene and the knife was recovered. Muhammad admitted that she intended to kill Harris and stated that after she was sent home, she drove to a nearby park, decided to come back and stab Harris with a knife that she had inside of her vehicle. When Muhammad returned to stab Harris, she entered the back entrance with a hooded mask over her face in an attempt to conceal her identity and attempted to flee the scene after the stabbing, but was stopped by an armed customer.
So after Detective Shower's testimony, the arraignment proceeded in typical fashion, with both sides arguing over bond. And Muhammad's defense attorney cited a history of trauma and abuse and asking the court to consider a reasonable bond.
She was in an extremely abusive relationship that was not only mental but physical, that involved alcohol issues, which is where the habitual second stems from, and her prior record. But at this time, Your Honor, we are asking the court to consider a bond in this manner that is appropriate, that my client can meet, so that she can meet with her attorneys and prepare her for defense in this manner.
But prosecutors, they quickly pushed back, and they argued that the nature of the crime left no room for mitigation.
She entered a
Like, what does her having an alcoholic, abusive relationship outside of work have to do with her stabbing her manager? Like, doesn't matter what you got going on at home. You coming out into the world and stabbing somebody in the world over them sending you home because you wasn't doing your job as you were instructed to do. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on at home. It doesn't nullify that. Like, what are we talking about?
building with other individuals, other employees that were present. She produced a weapon that was a knife longer than 3 inches, and she
and bro, she left. She left. It's not like, oh, you got to go home. You got to go home, and it's like, like it wasn't like it was in the moment. Like she left, got in her car, drove away. I don't know how long she was gone, but she came back after some time with a weapon, masked up, came in through like an employee entrance, and got dirty. Like this, she had plenty of time to stop herself from doing this.
She stabbed the victim multiple times, up to possibly as many as 15 times, eventually causing her death. She then ran from the building to her vehicle, presumably with the intent to flee from the scene. She was stopped by a helpful bystander.
Eric, how does it work in terms of bond? I mean, is it just looking at the horrific allegations and the nature of the crime, or does a judge consider what are potentially mitigating factors at this point?
So the judge has a lot to consider in deciding what the bond is going to be. The two primary factors are whether the defendant presents a danger to society and whether she presents a flight risk that she might leave the jurisdiction and never come back. However, the judge can surely consider the fact that the defendant is presumed innocent and under the Constitution is guaranteed a right to bail for most charges. Here, the judge, in looking at it, essentially concluded that, hey, this person is dangerous. And in fact, there's allegedly a prior weapons issue in her background. And so the judge ultimately imposed a bond of $25 million cash or surety. No chance Mohammed is going to meet that. She will be in custody during the pendency of this first-degree murder case.
Yeah, you're right, because then...
25 million? I mean, how much do you need in order to make bond? Isn't it like 10%? Right? Isn't it like 10% or something like that? And if so, 10% of 25 million, wouldn't that be like, what's that like? Is that like 250,000? Like, does she look like she has 250,000 just hanging around somewhere? I mean, she worked at McDonald's, and she looked like she's like under 25. So yeah, she's cooked.
Issue $1 million cash or surety. No chance Mohammed is going to meet that. She will be in custody during the pendency of this first-degree murder case.
Yeah, you're right, because then came an even more disturbing revelation. Prosecutors disclosed in open court that Mohammed had a previous incident involving a stabbing.
And then finally, the defendant does have a prior instance of at least one that I'm aware that involved a stabbing, similar obviously to the stabbing that occurred in this case, involving a knife. So given all of those factors, and given the fact that this court does have authority to give no bond to defendants charged with murder, I am asking at this time for no bond in this case.
Okay, so according...
So she stabbed somebody before? she's a serial stabber. Is she from the UK or something? She's a serial stabber, bro? Who she stabbed before? I bet you it's probably like an ex-boyfriend or some girl that maybe wanted her man or something. She looked like the type.
To outlet Detroit News, Muhammad was convicted in Virginia in March of 2022 of 1 count of unlawful injury by stabbing, wounding, or cutting without malicious intent. And at that time, she received a suspended sentence, per Detroit News, of 4 years in prison and served 1 year of probation instead. Now, Eric, given what she is accused of doing here, hindsight's 2020, but do you question that sentence? And also, how does that prior incident affect her current legal predicament?
Sure. So the judge in the prior case, of course, didn't have a crystal ball, couldn't necessarily foresee Mohammed going in and stabbing up her coworker up to 15 times. That being said, it sort of shows a pattern of conduct that includes weapons, a specific weapon, a blade that Mohammed allegedly thrust into the body of Harris, her manager. And so that's an aggravating factor. Surely the prosecution is going to look at that and say, hey, even if there was some...
Bro, does McDonald's not do background checks, bro? Because the way I look at it, if I have a business where you're going to be working in a kitchen where there's going to be hot oil, there's going to be knives and things of that nature, and I see in your background that you have a history of stabbing people, like you picked up a knife and attacked somebody with a knife, I'm not going to want to hire you for a position where you're going to be anywhere near a knife. So what is that about, McDonald's? Did y'all miss that?
Mitigation, even if there was some prior trauma, prior substance issues, that is vastly outweighed by the danger that this person allegedly poses to the community. And I think the prosecution's going to take a real heavy-handed approach to this case.
But at trial, can they introduce that prior conviction, or is it a prior bad act that wouldn't be allowed to be too prejudicial?
That'll be ultimately up to the judge. The judge will have to weigh, hey, is this prior act relevant to some kind of trait or factor on behalf of the defendant, like state of mind, like intent, like modus operandi, like the way in which she has committed crimes before. But my guess is the judge is going to say, hey, this prior stabbing that was unrelated in an entirely different state is just too overly prejudicial. The concern is the jury would sort of hold that against her and find guilt on the new case because of that.
If she testifies, though, they can use it again.
You gotta use that against her. What the hell? I don't care what state, what country you was in when you stabbed the last person. The fact is, you're a stabber. The fact is, you're willing to go there. You are willing to commit violence with the intent of drawing blood. There's one thing you slap somebody, you push somebody, shit, you punch somebody. I even let that slide. But the minute you start using tools that draw blood, stabbing, shooting, or even trying to break a bone, like maybe even using a bat to break a leg or to hit somebody over the head with it, things like that are like intrusive. Like, bro, I don't care what state you in, like that gotta count in every state, in every country.
Against her.
If she testifies, it could surely come up. Yeah. There is a reasonable likelihood that she could open the door through her testimony. If she gets up there and says, hey, look, I'm generally a peaceful person, whatever, the prosecution can say, hey, wait a sec, peaceful person. What about this prior weapons charge involving a knife from 2 to 3 years ago? So, yes, that could be a damning revelation at trial.
You mentioned this before. In the end, the judge in Detroit set Muhammad's bond at $25 million. There are strict conditions, GPS monitoring, a no contact order with the victim's family. That all makes sense. $25 million, though. Why not just issue no bond? I mean, it seems unlikely, unless you're, I don't know, Jeff Bezos, that almost anyone could make a $25 million bond. Why even set a bond that high and just say no bond?
They're trolling. They're trolling.
It's kind of going through the motions of issuing a bond without really issuing a bond. You know, when a judge issues no bond, some folks get up in arms, especially the defense community, saying, hey, the Constitution grants a right to reasonable bail. You're not even giving this person a shot. So the judge sort of sidesteps that potential criticism by saying, no, I gave a bond, but it's $25 million.
By the way, I'm not saying that
$1 billion. That's the bond. So basically, just saying they're giving you a bond just to say we gave you a bond, but we have no intentions on letting you get out.
the bond should be lowered. I mean, given what she is accused of doing, this is a heinous attack. I'm just wondering whether there should be no bond. Now, according to court records, talking about the legal case, Muhammad has a probable cause conference set for July 23rd, a preliminary examination on the 30th. What should we be looking out for there?
So at those proceedings, the prosecution is really going to lay out their evidence that they believe shows probable cause that Muhammad committed this allegedly horrendous act. That they will likely call witnesses, including detectives, possibly even coworkers from the McDonald's, to discuss kind of the dispute that had been building and escalating. In this case, the judge will determine whether there's probable cause to have the trial, or excuse me, to make sure the charge stands and have the case proceed to trial. Based on the reports so far, it's looking pretty strong that there is probable cause here. It's a relatively low standard.
Is there anything the defense can do to try to? I mean, it doesn't seem to me they can do anything to prevent this from going forward. The evidence feels quite substantial at this stage to proceed to trial. We can have a discussion about whether or not it's strong enough to prove beyond the reasonable doubt. Probably is. But at this point, is there anything they can do to try to get this case stopped now or no?
Stopped? Probably not. Mitigated? Possibly. You know, defense should really engage in a strong mitigation campaign that'll likely involve a mental health examination. It'll likely involve interviewing people in Ms. Muhammad's life regarding past trauma, regarding substance issues, that kind of thing, to show a sort of a more holistic view of who Muhammad is and not just, you know, the sort of narrow snapshot we see from this allegedly heinous act.
Is there room for a plea deal, and what would a plea look like? I mean, in the sense, if we make the argument that the evidence against her is substantial, so whether, you know, the witness testimony.
She left and then she came back. She left and then came back, bro. There's nothing I want to hear after that. If you leave, you got a chance to cool off, and you decide to come back and still do that, you gotta go, bro. You gotta go. Can't have you out here in the streets. Can't have you out here with normal people. You gotta go now.
Or her alleged statements, what have you, her Instagram video, what have you, the physical evidence. Is there room to negotiate a plea, and what would it look like given these allegations and this level of attack?
So that's going to depend in part on the prosecutor and how the prosecutor sees the case. They're typically in charge of extending a plea offer or not. Like you mentioned, there's that aggravating factor of that prior instance regarding a knife in a different state. That's going to be a problem. That being said, there's almost always some room to develop a mitigation packet on behalf of defense, submit it to the prosecutor, and say, hey, instead of dragging everybody's families through the trauma and crucible of a trial, how about we agree on something slightly lesser than what she's facing, and hopefully make it out of this with some sort of satisfactory resolution.
We always talk so much about the defendant in these cases because of the legal consequences in the legal case, but let's just go back to the victim. So Harris's family is in mourning. The McDonald's remains closed. A GoFundMe has been launched by Harris's family to help support her children. And according to prosecutors, she was a mother of 6. She had worked at that McDonald's for 15 15 years. And part of the GoFundMe reads, through this fund, Jennifer's legacy of strength, compassion, and dedication will continue to guide and uplift her children. Resources from the trust will be used to support their educational journeys from early learning through higher education, as well as their overall well-being and personal development as they grow into adulthood. The Jennifer Harris Legacy Fund is a reflection of her lifelong commitment to family, opportunity, and the belief in a bright future. It ensures that her children are surrounded by the care, guidance, and support they need to thrive, and that her spirit will continue to shape their lives for years to come. You know, Eric, sometimes we get lost in the fact of the legal points and the legal case, that you think about the family that's left behind in such a brutal attack, and for them to make sense of this in a way, it's a start of a whole new journey. They have to grapple with this loss, and now they have to go through the legal case, which can be quite difficult for them, particularly if the defense is going to be raising certain points of defense that obviously they may not agree with, and that might be difficult for them. What should they be thinking moving forward now?
Yeah, they are going to have a long road here. I watched one of the interviews with one of the children, and she said, "Hey, my mom died providing for her kids, going to work every day, trying to make a better life for them." These victims' families are going to have some say in the legal process. They're going to have some input into whether there's a plea or not. Now, the defense has sort of cast Ms. Harris as a bully, and I think that there's probably going to be more of that. There's probably going to be more allegations that the alleged victim was, a heavy-handed boss and mistreated her employees.
Listen, I'm not trying to hear none of that. I don't care if you're a bully of a boss, as far as like sending people home because you don't like the way they work. They're not working up to your standards. At the end of the day, she should be able to file some type of grievance to whoever her supervisor or whoever her manager is, whoever the manager at the McDonald's have to answer to. There should be some type of way for the people under her to be able to contact the people above her to complain about however she is operating the establishment. There should be some type of way to do that. The answer isn't, I'm going to go to my car and grab a knife, because that isn't going to solve the problem, but you're not going to be victorious because you're going to be in jail for the rest of your life after that. So how about we come up with a solution that, all right, it can reprimand that person for being abusive with their power, but at the same time, you can keep your job and maybe even elevate to some extent, not just destroy your life. So it's like, there's nothing you really tell me that would make sense of why this person went and grabbed a knife and came back.
Whether that's true or not. And so it's going to be painful and probably unsatisfying at the end. Nothing through the legal process will bring their mother back.
Eric Faddis, thank you so much for taking the time.
A mother of 6, bro. That's crazy, bro. A mother of 6. That's 6 kids who just lost their mom to some random McDonald's employee who, I don't know how she was working, but who apparently just wasn't working up to standards and decided to crash out because they got sent home a 3rd time or whatever. Like, come on, bro. It's crazy. It also goes to show, like, you don't know who you're managing. So, being a manager, it is a tough job. You don't know who you are, whose lives you are in control of. Because you are, as a manager, in control of their lives because their job directly affects their lifestyle, so as a manager you got to be mindful of how you interact with people and not just dismissing them. And who knows, maybe she was kind of bullyish, maybe she was just sending her home rather than trying to talk to her and tell her how to correct herself. Who knows? But at the end of the day, it shouldn't have cost her life, so people got to be better with the way they respond to things they are not happy with. You're not happy with being sent home? Okay. Talk to somebody above the manager. Figure out how to resolve that. Or if you really are messing up, take accountability and fix your performance. Or if it's something you have no control over, find a new job. It's McDonald's. Like, McDonald's is that's a starting point for most people. I see so many people in my McDonald's in my neighborhood that they are there for like maybe 2-3 months at a time. They're not even there for that long. Maybe 6 months tops, and they're gone. It's like a revolving door. I see new people there all the time. As far as the young people go, I see new young people there all the time. Like every like 3 to 6 months, I see somebody new. So it's like crashing out over McDonald's. I don't know. Well, y'all let me know, man. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe if you're new. Damn, what the, yo, Shia, you hella late. Where you at, Shia?
Do it!
Alright. I was wondering where you was at. Anyway, like Shia said, just do it, man. Like the video, man. Let me know what your thoughts is on something like this. And if you have a video I should react to, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking out for whatever videos y'all want me to react to. Or just videos that y'all want to share with me that I might not have seen. You know, so we could be on the same page as far as like life experience, you know what I mean? I seen what y'all seen, so we can have something that we can always go back to. You know, just let me know. And I'll holler at y'all in the next YouTube video. Peace.